When people, let's look at a problem of complex numbers here. We have this equation given. They are asking us if z equals to x minus 2i divided by x plus 2i is equals to that z is equals to that, determine the imaginary of z. One thing we need to remember is the complex number is written in the form of a plus bi, where a is always the real part and b is the coefficient of the imaginary part. And this must always be a number, and this is the complex part of it. A is the real part and b is the coefficient of the imaginary. So if they're asking us to determine the imaginary of z, they want this part. In other words, they want the coefficient of the imaginary part. How do we go about this? Whenever you have fractions associated with complex numbers, and you have complex numbers in the denominator, this also applies to cells. If you have it in the denominator, you need to simplify. Our idea is to go from this format to this format. And we can only do that by rationalizing the denominator so that we can get rid of the complex numbers. How do you rationalize? You rationalize by dividing, by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator with the conjugate of the denominator. What do we call a conjugate? Conjugate of a complex number or a surd is if the complex number expression is a plus b, the conjugate is just change the sign of the imaginary part. So even if it's a surd, if we have 2 plus root 2, change the sign. So the conjugate here will be 2 minus root 2. Please note, the conjugate is on the root or on the complex, not on the number. So even if we have something like root 5 plus 4, the conjugate is on root 5. So we have negative root 5 plus 4. So please take note of that. Now we multiply both the numerator and the denominator with the conjugate of the denominator. So we have this. Why are we doing this? To eliminate the complex number or the complex notation in the denominator. So let's go. This gives us x squared minus 2xi minus 2xi gives us minus 4xi. Then we have plus 4i squared. All divided by what we have in the denominator is dot, difference of two squares. Is the same, but change in sign. So this will give us, if we simplify, we have x squared minus 2i all squared. Minus 2i all squared. So let's go on. Now what do we do next? Let's simplify. This is x squared minus 4xi. Remember, under further studies mathematics, that I squared is equals to negative 1. So if we replace the I squared here with a negative 1, we have 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. This becomes negative 4. Divided by the same here, we have x squared. So this will give us x squared minus 4i squared. When I squared is replaced with negative 1, then we have negative 4, negative 1, so that gives us x squared plus 4. What do? We take the imaginary to imaginary, keep the real to real. The imaginary are the ones that have I in them, and the denominator, both of them will share. So here we have x squared minus 4 has no elements of imaginary in them. We allocate the denominator to them. Then we have minus 4xi as our imaginary. It's also supposed to share from the denominator. So the imaginary of this expression is actually 4xi all over minus 4xi all over x squared plus 1. Or we can just say minus 4x over x squared plus 1. Someone will say this is not a number. Yes, this is how we approach. If we have a sub question that stems from this, you will see something like if the imaginary is equals to half, figure out the value of x. All you need to do is to equate this whole part to a half. Let's even go there. Let's see. I'm just keeping only my imaginary so that I can follow. Now, I'm saying if the imaginary of z is equals to 1 over 2, determine the value of x. Now, this is the second question. Now, what do? My imaginary is negative 4x over x squared plus 4. Remember, the imaginary is the coefficient. You don't have to use I defines what it is, whether it is going to be or imaginary. Then we have 1 over 2 here. If we cross multiply, we have negative 8x equals to x squared plus 4. So this gives us x squared plus 8x plus 4 equals to 0. You see where we landed? Now, that is the essence of this type of question. You always have a follow-up and you will know what to do. With this, we have a quadratic equation, which you can use the quadratic formula to solve. You can use the quadratic formula to solve. It may be in terms of, for further studies mathematics, it may also be in terms of I or in a side form. But this is the approach. So my task for you is please complete this and give me the answer on the comment section and do not forget to share this video and ask for questions. God bless you.